draw your tap along with me and pause the video anytime you need to catch up. So the first thing you want to do is to draw the wheels. So you could either trace them if you find a round circle shape that you can trace, or you can freehand them. Either one is fine. And you want to place them kind of in the middle of your paper at the bottom, but you also want to leave a little bit of space at the front for the front of your tap, in the middle, and a little bit at the end. So make sure you're kind of imagining where the rest of your tap will be when you put your two circles in, and make sure they're right in the same line going across, right? Because they're supposed to be touching the ground in the same place. Next, you're going to draw two lines going across from one wheel to the other wheel. Make sure the lines are parallel so they're even, they're spaced a little bit apart, and they go straight across. And that's for the lower bumper. And then you're going to draw the front bumper in the same line. So imagine that line continuing through the wheel and coming out on the other side. You're just going to draw a little bit of a rounded rectangle edge at the front, and you're going to do the same thing at the back, except it's a little bit shorter than the front bumper. The front bumper sticks out a little bit more, and the back bumper will be just a little bit shorter because the back of the tap is a little bit more flat. Next, place your pencil at the front, just a little bit in from the end of the bumper, and you're going to draw a line going up straight. That's going to be the front of the tap, and you're going to gradually curve it over to make the front where the engine goes. Next, do the same thing at the back, but go all the way up straight until you get to the top where you want the top of your tap to be. And don't forget to leave some room before the top of your paper so that you can do the roof rack and do different little cool things on the roof. So then you're going to kind of round that edge and go straight across, and then you'll come down at an angle at the front. Now, you're going to then want to kind of rework it to get the right shape. So just draw lightly until you modify it to the way that you want it to look. Next, add the exhaust pipe at the back where the bumper is. So just go above the bumper, and it's actually going to stick out just a little bit past the bumper. So you'll see in a second, I erased this. I made the exhaust pipe a little bit shorter, but then I realized it actually is supposed to be longer. So just kind of ignore the new exhaust pipe for a second. We're gonna go on and we're gonna draw the roof rack. So go a little bit inward from the front edge, go straight up, and then go all the way over to the back, and then come back down just before the end of the roof. To do the headlights, go to the front of the tap. At the top, before it starts curving, you're going to draw an oval. And then underneath that oval, you're going to draw another oval for the turning signals. And it's actually not a total oval, it's a half of an oval. Because you're going to imagine that the light is kind of wrapped around to the front side. So the shape of the light, it's on like the side and goes a little bit to the front. So you're going to want to do kind of like a half oval, a bigger one on the top, and a smaller one at the bottom, and the smaller one is the turning signal, and the top one is the headlight. Here you can see that I'm kind of reworking my outline, so I did another line around the initial oval. So you can kind of play around with your shapes, erase and draw, and make it the way that you want it to look, okay? I'm going to add my tail lights, which I'm only going to add part of it right now, but you can add the lights as well. I'm just drawing a rounded rectangle going from the back edge of the tap inward and then down and then across, so it goes above the exhaust pipe. Okay, so it's kind of like my frame for my tail lights, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to add them after. So this is fast forwarded because I actually skipped ahead and did a little bit of the design piece, but I want to show you how to draw the windows. So to start the windows, you're going to look at the top of your roof line and you're going to go down a little bit because you're going to want to leave a little edge so you can add some decorations above the windows. So go down a little bit and draw straight lines going across to try to measure out the width of your windows so you can figure out how wide they need to be and where they need to be placed. This is the easiest if you need to erase them or you need to make adjustments. So kind of make sure they're even in size. And then once you feel like they're even and evenly placed, you're going to add the sides of the window. The front window can be slanted and it should be kind of parallel, like the same direction as the front slant of your tap tap. The back side of it or the right side of it should be vertical, straight down. And just connect it and make it into a rounded, kind of a trapezoid for this one. The next windows can actually be any shape of your choice. They can be really, really fun and creative. So I'm just doing simple rounded squares or rectangles, but you can make yours however creative you want. Just try to make them even so that you can maintain that pattern and balance, okay? So just so you can see my process of the windows, you could even make kind of like a very light outline to make sure that whatever shape you choose, you fit within each of those outlines so that they're the same size. But this is just to help you as a guide to creating your windows. And after that, you're going to start adding all of your embellishments with your drawing, just in pencil. The next step is to outline all of your pencil marks with a black permanent marker or a Sharpie. Make sure you're using a permanent marker so that when you go in and color it or add paint, it doesn't smudge your ink into the rest of the colors. If you don't have a black Sharpie, then don't do this step until the very end once you've colored everything in on your tap tap. This way the colors won't bleed together and you'll have really nice, vibrant, and bold colors. The other suggestion would be to make sure you're waiting until whatever you used, if it's wet, like a wet marker or paint, wait till that completely dries, even overnight. And then once it's totally dry, then you can go and outline it that day, the next day. But don't outline it now if you don't have a Sharpie. Only outline it now if you do have a Sharpie. And then once you outline it, erase all your pencil marks so you have a nice clean drawing, almost like a coloring page. Once you have the basic shape of your tap tap drawn, you can then go in and start adding your embellishments. You can add your patterns, all your cool artwork and designs, and the things in the roof rack. There are reference slides in the slideshow you can look at to help you with your drawing, or you can just be creative and come up with whatever you feel inspires you. So you're going to add all that in, trace it, and then you're going to go on to step 2.